you've got a track that's almost there, but the real idea just won't come out, the answer might be hiding in a section of your arrangement that most producers sleep on. Because after 20 years of releasing records and helping thousands of producers, I've noticed a pattern. When a track's real idea finally shows up, it's often in a place you don't expect. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use your arrangement itself as a tool to unlock the magic your track is missing. And later I'll show you some real examples to prove it. So when I make a track, I find it usually goes one of three ways. Some tracks just flow. The idea lands, everything clicks. You write the whole thing almost on autopilot. That is the best case scenario. Other tracks are a lost cause. No matter how hard you try, you realise this isn't worth the time, so you harvest for parts and move on. But then there's this third kind of track. You get the first half going, then you tack on a second half, and it's got potential, but something feels unresolved, like you had more to say, like there was a deeper idea buried underneath that you missed. And for those tracks, I've noticed that the magic breakthrough almost always happens at the same place, that tacked on second half. The second drop, aka the last chorus, the latter part of your song, whatever you want to call it. Now for some tracks the second drop is an important landmark, but for a lot of electronic music it's basically the first drop copied and pasted with some minor changes. Especially in this age of streaming and TikTokification and fried attention spans, the second half of a track matters less than it ever has. Listeners don't wait around for a post-credit scene. However, because the second drop is often an afterthought nowadays, I think that's exactly why it's so useful. Think of it like this. You know, when you've got a word on the tip of your tongue, you try to describe it from different angles, but the harder you force it, the less it comes. And then later, when you've stopped trying, the word pops up in your brain. That's what happens when you make a track and the real idea isn't emerging, because you're still kind of precious about the idea. You try hard to make it work, you protect it, like a parent who knows their kid's drawing is rubbish, but they put it on the fridge anyway. But with every sound and every section you lay out, you're learning. You're building up a picture of what's missing, and getting to the second drop is just like when you stop trying to think of that word. The pressure's off. You've now got a new canvas you can use to freely experiment. You've already set up the rules in the first half, so now you give yourself permission to break them in the second half. Now before I show you some examples, if you like my unique ways of thinking about arrangement and finishing tracks, I go deeper in my free newsletter. Sign up at the link below. Okay, so once I get to the second drop, here are a few ways I like to twist the track to find a new perspective or angle, and bear in mind you can stack these ideas. One easy thing to do is change your rhythm or drum pattern to something new. So here's my first drop. And here for the second drop we can try a simple drum switch like this. Something else I like to do is change or mutate my core sound in some way. So this is my lead for the first drop. And then I've changed the pitch and filter rhythm for the second drop, so I'm using the same theme but with a new twist. Something else you can do is strip things back. You could get rid of your main sound for the second drop and do something else in the space it leaves behind. So here I've muted the lead and I've added a new snap. So you've got endless possibilities. Flip the rhythm, swap drums, bring in a new part, pitch everything up or down, strip it back or add more, put a cowbell where the kick was. Actually, don't do that, but you get the idea. And if nothing comes out of it, you haven't lost anything, at least you tried. But in my experience, this kind of second drop CPR has a great chance of jolting an idea back to life. Oh, and let me know your favourite tricks for second drops in the comments. I bet you've got some interesting ideas. So here's what makes all of this click. It's the tip of the tongue word finally arriving. And I really look forward to this stage now. When I've got an idea that's not finding its feet, I think, right, the second drop is my chance to break the track and go crazy. And where it gets even more interesting is with something I call the rebuild. For some tracks, when you try something new, this fresh idea is often significantly better than everything that came before it. So good that it needs to become the actual track. To show you what I mean, this is my track with L Circuit called Light Up that came out on Sound Museum. This is a very early version of the project. We started off with this kind of plodding feel. But as we kept working through the arrangement, something about it just wasn't doing what we wanted. The spark wasn't there. It felt too civilized. So when we got to the second drop, we said, right, let's break this, and we switched it up. After putting the track aside for a week or so and coming back fresh, it was immediately obvious the second drop was stronger, it should carry the whole track. So we rebuilt everything and moved that second drop to the first drop, and that idea became the entire record. So the whole first half was just the chain reaction that led to the real idea, and without powering through, without giving ourselves permission to break the track, we would have never found it. And this pattern keeps happening to me across loads of tracks. So next time you're working on an idea and it's not quite clicking, instead of ditching it, try this. Arrange it out. Push through to the second drop. Use everything you've learned from the first half and then give yourself permission to smash the track wide open and try something new, because that's often where the real idea is waiting. And often that second drop idea is so good you need to promote it to the first drop and rebuild the whole track around it. This concept is a tiny part of my loop to track workout. If this one idea is useful to you, the rest of it will change how you train to finish tracks. Find out more at looptotrack.com or click the link in the description. And there's an even more foolproof way to never get stuck, even before you get to the second drop. To find out what that is, go and watch this video next.